Split Fiction is a cooperative action-adventure game developed by Hazelight Studios, whom are also known for It Takes Two and A Way Out. Released on March 6, 2025, the game centers on two characters, Mio and Zoe, whom are writers that have never met. They become trapped inside a shared simulation of their own fictional worlds. The two must journey through surreal environments to rewrite their stories from within and regain control to finally return to reality. So, Steve, we finally beat Split Fiction. We've had the opportunity to enjoy this great game. So, like always, we're going to talk about the story, the characters, the world, the gameplay. We're going to rate it out of 10 and whether or not we would recommend it. So, the story, man, so the story's pretty much cut forward. You know, you got Mio and Zoe. They are in this huge corporation. They're trying to learn, or they're trying to... what do you call it? They got these stories in their head that, they got writer's block, and this whole simulation thing is supposed to help them with their writer's block and write these stories. And the story, they go through all these things. They use glitches to get to each new I'm gonna call it world and stuff like that. Story was fantastic, man. What did you think about the story? Anything negative you got to say about it?
I think the story was fine. A lot of cutscenes, which I think that's kind of one of the parts that kind of I think hurt some games in a sense. It's like you want to be able to play the game, you want to be able to enjoy the game, and it's like when there's just so many cutscenes, it kind of take you a little bit out of your groove. Towards the end, granted, I think a lot of it was my fault because I was just so tired. I just wanted to go to bed. Yeah, I was like, we just need to finish it. We're so close. So let's just skip the cutscenes. Let's just go in, finish it. So we were at least me. Like I was a little lost at the end, but the story was fine. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny because during the game, like, you see when the other person wants to skip the cutscene because you saw, like, the little bar raise up on your side of the screen. So, like, there was times you were trolling me and, like, you'd hold it there and then I'd, like, tap X so slightly to get towards the top and then we'd end up skipping in. You get like, God damn it, because you're trying to fuck me. But, yeah, the cutscenes, I almost felt like there was more cutscenes in the game than there actually was a gameplay to it. But the story was really good. I think it was a really cool concept too. You're in this alternate reality and, in your own little worlds, and you've got to defeat the bosses in these stories that you yourself have thought of or written, because like there were some of them in there, like the pig, the most iconic one I think was like the pig. The turning into a hot dog and having to roast yourself and put on ketchup and mustard and go into a bun was really cool. So
it was.
Here you go.
Sorry, I was just gonna say it was cool how you could very easily tell whose story it was.
Yeah, because Mio was more futuristic, right?
Yeah,
and then Zoe was like more childish. Like I don't even know how to explain like that kind of story. Just more. Old school kind of thing. I don't really know how would you describe Zoe's worlds?
It was just more childish. I think a big thing, it's like very like Zoe's are very bright and very colorful, and like Mio's are very like dark, and so it's like I think it kind of portrays a little bit about the people too, because like Mio is a little bit more like I guess I'm trying to think of the word, but she's a little less open versus Zoe's. She's like very bubbly, very open. She likes to talk. And you kind of saw that in the beginning.
So I'm going to transition this into the character part of this. So, like, you think with them having the two different kinds of characters, like, really meshed well together then?
Yeah. I think, again, like, it's a very basic concept. You have two people that are complete opposites. They get thrown into a very unique experience that only them two can kind of really go through, and they have to become friends and overcome the obstacles in order to get out. So again, very, very similar, very basic concept. It's opposites attract. I thought
they were going to become lovers. I said it. I don't know how many times I was like, dude, they're definitely going to end up like getting together. It just like you said, like in the first couple stories, like they were kind of the chemistry wasn't there between the two of them. But then towards the end, like you said, like they became like best friends. And I don't know. I thought like something was going to happen between the two of them. Maybe like the game was going to end with a kiss or something. But I don't know. So let's talk about the world, man. There's so many different worlds in this. But like kind of like you said, Mio is more futuristic. I felt like a cyberpunky kind of feel to her, and then Zoe, more childish, dragons and things like that. Did you? I think the creators did a fantastic job with creating all the different worlds inside the game. Do you remember the one? It was like you were in like a notebook, and they were like sketching out like as you're going through it. Like, did you have a favorite world inside of the game?
I really like I'm trying to remember what you were as, like the water one when you're. It's like,
was that the gorilla
I'm not sure
one? No,
I can't remember if it was the one where you would have to like jump over and I would have to catch you. And
Oh, I was a pixie. I was like a pixie.
Yeah. Like that one was super cool. Like again, like everything looked great. Like I thought the worlds were really really well done. I thought everything was really unique. Really, it was like you said. It was fun. It was really well put together.
So let's go on to the gameplay. I know we talked about there being a lot of cutscenes, but the gameplay itself, how challenging do you think some of those puzzles were? 'Cause it's pretty much what it is. It's a co-op puzzle game.
Not very challenging. And granted, we didn't do the hardest level, which is like that secret level. Outside of that, like granted, I saw a lot of people kind of struggle with that level, but every other level, like I felt was like pretty standard. Like it wasn't extremely hard. I think the only one that we took a long time with was because you weren't hitting the thing that I was telling you to hit, and
was that the one that I was on shrooms?
You weren't. No, where you weren't breaking the glass.
Oh yeah.
But no, it was yeah. I wish it was harder. That's my only thing. It's like I thought it was a little too
but
easy.
You chose the difficulty setting.
I don't think there was difficulty settings. Was there? I think it's
I don't know.
just
You're the
standard.
one, I think you were the one that purchased the game. I just was invited to play it.
Yeah, I think it was just standard. Like I don't. Yeah, I just wish it was a little bit harder. Like the puzzles didn't necessarily have to be too hard. I'm not like a huge fan when like games make their puzzles like extremely difficult, and you're like having to sit there and like think for like hours upon hours on how to solve something. I think Portal is like the perfect example. It's like your puzzles are hard, but if you just stop and like think and like really like look at it, like you can kind of figure it out. But when you have something where it's like you're having to like pull out a notebook and take notes and see all these little things,
Yeah.
like, yeah. Let's. I'm over that. But like, I wish the platforming was a little bit more challenging. That's what I wish was a little bit harder. The bosses, it is what it
the
is.
mechanics themselves, because like I felt like the mechanics were like pretty easy. The story, like yeah, the puzzles were a little hard, but like you said, it wasn't really like too difficult.
Yeah, for me, it's more so the like actual like jumping around, like getting from zone to zone. Like I wish that part was a little bit harder. The bosses, I don't think necessarily have to be like super hard. Like when you think of like when I was like going into this game, I thought it was going to be just like a platformer with puzzles. So I was expecting like difficult platforming. Like when you think about like a hard platformer, like say like Crash Bandicoot, something like that. Like the bosses isn't what's hard; it's getting to the boss. It's difficult. Yeah. So that's kind of what I was expecting, and I thought it was going to be something like that. I thought we were going to have some more challenging scenarios like that, but nothing really too difficult. I think the longest zone we took was maybe like 10 minutes.
I was about to say the same exact thing. We probably only took like 10, maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was just because it took more thinking of what to do. I think one of the hardest ones was probably, I think, like with the very last one, if you remember, we were like sliding down the tunnels or something like that, and they have like the lasers that are rotating, and it's just trying to manage the two camera angles and do all this stuff. That was, but again, like you said, I mean, it took us maybe 10, 15 minutes to really get to each boss through the levels. So like it didn't feel very, very difficult at all.
Yeah. No, yeah, 100%.
So, okay, I feel like we're going through this so fast, but it's just such a good game. So, what would you rate it out of 10?
It's I guess it's kind of for me personally, I would probably give it like an 8 out of 10. I thought the game again was really fun. It was very well done. The world looks incredible. The characters themselves are fine. I'm not like the biggest fan of the characters, but the contrast between them was great. I thought the chemistry was there. The story again, like I kind of wish we sat through all the cutscenes, but again, like at the end, like I said, it was I was exhausted and I just wanted to go to bed. I think it was like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and we're just trying to finish it up, and just go to bed. We were so close, but yeah, it's the story was fine. The gameplay was fun. I really, really enjoyed the gameplay. I enjoyed the puzzles. Again, I just wish it was harder. If it was harder, I think it would be higher for me, maybe like a 9 out of 10. I don't necessarily think the game is a 10 out of 10 because the story wasn't there for me. If the story was good, probably closer to 10 out of 10, but no, 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%, 8 out of 10. My biggest gripe, it didn't feel hard. It just was more time consuming just because the levels were kind of long, but nothing was really challenging. Like I said, it felt like it only took us, because you have all the sub levels in between each boss fight, or in between getting to each boss, and it just felt like it only took us like 5-10 minutes to really get through each thing to where we got to like the mini bosses. But yeah, story wasn't bad. I thought it was pretty cool how they worked together to get through their own simulations. But yeah, I think 8 out of 10 is a perfect score for it. If it was a little harder, story was a little better, yeah, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. But for what it is here, 8 out of 10, 100%. So yeah, would you recommend this to somebody to pick up? Do you think it's something that like you'd recommend somebody to play with like their kids, wife, shit like that, or what do you think?
No, yeah, I definitely think I would 100% recommend this game. I would tell anyone that has someone to play this with, whether it's a friend, girlfriend, wife, kid, whatever, play this game. It was extremely enjoyable. The fact that only one person has to buy it too, I think that's huge. Like I love that idea because it kind of, and I think we talked about this when the game first came out, it brings back that like co-op couch play type of feel back, where it's like you can go to a friend's house and play a game that you may not have.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a blast, and I definitely recommend whoever wants to spend, because it's a short game, 12 hours. It's $40, $30, whatever it was.
We probably could have got through it a lot quicker too, though.
Oh, 100%. I think if we actually tried, we definitely could have done it fairly quickly.
I would like to do another playthrough, but we hit all the little side levels because I think we missed maybe like 7 or 8 of the little side stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would recommend it too, man. I thought it was fantastic. I would love to see a port of this on like the Switch, personally. Probably gonna buy it here so I can play with Callie and Megan, man. It's really, really good. I look forward to hopefully another cooperative action game like this from Hazelight. But yeah, so that's it for this special episode of the BS Show. If you enjoyed your review of this game, make sure to share our podcast and to follow us on all socials at the BS Show. GG, we appreciate you listening. We'll be back next week with more straight talk. No BS.